Here, the head coach Brad Laird, Northwestern State, coming off a bye week, getting ready to host Eastern Illinois, and the second of two straight home games. And coach, home games always important, always special. This one won't be any different, even after coming after a bye week.
Yeah, always good to be able to play at home in front of your fans, and sleep in your own bed, and just things are so normal, and just the opportunity for the fan base to be able to watch these guys, and I always look forward to Saturday nights in Turpin Stadium.
Well, you get another one. You get one against a somewhat, I don't know if it's familiar opponent or unfamiliar. You played them last year for the first time in a long time in Eastern Illinois, and these always get to be interesting when you have these interregional FCS matchups.
Yeah, I think great for our conference. To be able to, to stay. When you have a non-conference game. To be able to stay FCS versus FCS, to be able to play against a different conference team, and the team that we went there last year, a team that has played not just us but also other teams in our conference. They played McNeese last week, so it's a good return trip. It's always, I think, a good opportunity outside of your conference to be able to showcase what you have.
You guys come in off, like we said, off the bye week after week 3. What did you guys get accomplished during the bye week that you may not during a regular week?
Well, hopefully, a few guys that probably, if we played Saturday, definitely wouldn't have been 100%. Probably a couple of them wouldn't have played. And so I think the opportunity to get some guys healthy and get some guys back that have not played. Sylvester Campbell, who got hurt a week before the first game. Jaheim Walters coming off surgery. So, gave an extra week for those guys to not only get back healthy, but kind of get back in the flow of things. And so, I think that was the most important thing. And then as coaches, to be able to go back and look over the first 3 games, in all 3 phases, things that we're doing well, but things that we got to get corrected. Is it schematically, or is it personnel issues? So, I think you're able to dive into that a little bit closer than you would, not having to prepare a game plan for Saturday.
Do you look at a bye week a lot of times, depending on when it comes, more as a reset week?
I don't know necessarily reset. I think just a lot more time to be able to reflect on what I just talked about. The things that we're doing well, the things that we've got to improve on, and you're able to kind of dive into it a little bit deeper. And I think, to me, the health, getting guys healthy, is always going to be number 1, but number 2, schematically and personnel-wise, to see where you are.
You had a lot of new faces to fold in this year. I mean, we're getting a little further into the season now, so they're certainly a part of this team. They are when they get here. But one of them, Anthony Richard, came in during the spring. We've seen a lot of movement within the transfer portal. He's one of those. He's one that came from a lower level and stepped up. What was it that you saw in Anthony, or your coaching staff saw, that you really liked about him at Harding?
Well, I think you got to go back to high school. When he was at Lafayette Christian, we recruited him from high school. It was a situation during COVID. We weren't taking a high school young man, or we didn't recruit any at that position that particular year, but he was one that was very high on our list at that position. But as far as a number-wise, we weren't taken. And then fast forward a couple years, when he decided to jump in the portal, we really didn't have to see what he did at Harding. We knew what he was capable of, what he did at Lafayette Christian, the program that he came from there. So I think he came in as a young man that had some quality reps at Harding, so he had some experience. But he was one that we knew about and was high on our radar early on. So it was a no-brainer for us.
I think we talked a couple of weeks ago. I think Trinity Valley was one we talked about at a JUCO level, but LCA has given this program some players too. So I guess it's got to have a comfort factor there to know what kind of kid you're getting as well.
And that's exactly right. You know exactly what you're getting, especially with Ant and, a lot of the other guys that have come from that program. One, it's a winning program on the field when you look at a one-loss record, but more importantly, if you dive into it, those young men are raised the right way. They both on and off the field. And so, once you get them here, you're not going to have issues with them off the field. They're going to take care of their business in the classroom, and then they're going to perform on the field. So it's been great for Northwestern State is having that relationship there.
Well, I know the relationship for everybody changes a little bit during a bye week when you get away. I know we talked about this a little bit last week, but your weekend was about as relaxing as it could be, all things considered?
It was fast and furious. It was a good opportunity to be a dad with, my son Brock going through the recruiting process for baseball. So we were able to take an official visit to Southeastern and, see some familiar faces when it comes to, coaches in this profession and with Coach Bobby Barbier, Taylor Dugas, and Spencer. It was good to see those guys, but, kind of see things from a different perspective. I've been on a lot of recruiting visits, just not from that side of it. So very eventful weekend, and we had a good visit.
Coach, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you.